Okay. Uh, a wise son makes his father glad, but a foolish man despises his mother. Folly is joy to him who is destitute of discernment, but a man of understanding walks uprightly. Without counsel, plans go awry, but in the multitude of counselors they are established. What else we got here? And this I pray, that your love may abound still more and more in knowledge and all discernment. Okay? Okay. Leroy Cruz here, your life applications officer. I'm going to title this video, titles here somewhere. Is Christianity evil? Should it be considered evil? Should it be outlawed? And yes, to those that want no laws, of human existence and response. Yes, to those that say there is no God and nothing higher or more intelligent than themselves, than what they choose. In the Bible, the idolaters chose superstition and religion. And created gods that benefited their sins. All the false worshippers, prophets, engaged in ritual orgies, prostitution, and homosexuality. They also participated in substances such as drinking. And even back then, they did drugs. There were things that they did. They made serums, and they mixed forbidden, even back then, this is where the whole marijuana generation comes from. Witchcraft, that's where it comes from. Taking something and burning it in an unholy way and putting it in your body, or praying in front of it, or giving it claims of something, okay? Making some kind of claim to it that would seem like it's giving you power or giving you pleasure, okay? That's what they did. I'll pause there for a second. So I was just laying here thinking, about I don't know if I put that there or not. I don't know if I want to put that there. I'm just laying here thinking about how Christians over the years, when we created all these other denominations from the Protestant Reformation. We created all these other denominations, Pentecostals, Baptists, Presbyterian, Lutheran, Methodists, you name it. The Protestant Reformation was the escaping from Catholicism. And then denominations that were non-Protestant were escaping the Protestant church because the Protestants were more culture. And this goes all the way to the White House. This goes all the way to the founding fathers of this nation. The Protestant church was more cultural than it was spiritual, and it was more culture than it was biblical. And so in order to make the Protestant church better even this day, like when you become Pentecostal or Baptist or any of these other denominations, it's all about, and I slow down there because I'm familiar with the Baptist church and the Pentecostal church. I haven't spent that much time with the Methodists. I have a lot of Methodist friends, but I haven't spent that much time understanding their denomination. I know that whenever I've been in a Methodist church, they speak more politics than they speak about the Bible and spiritual matters. So getting on with it. We're living in a day and a time when, we've lost. And I'm not going to get all teary-eyed about politics, because that's not what this is about. But what people don't understand, and I try to tell all my Democratic so-called Christian friends all this, and I get so like at work the other day, I really got aggressive. I hate to get aggressive with people because then they feel like they have to shut me down. But I get aggressive when it comes to the Bible. I get aggressive when it comes to, what I know what I know, and I'm 100% sure in my spirit, and I get aggressive because I care about you. Man, there's tears coming out of my eyes. I get aggressive with when we get into discussions about this, and I don't mean to raise my voice. And I don't mean to sound preachy. I don't even mean to present myself as a life applications officer, but I feel I have to. You know, on YouTube anyway. But I feel I have to, because people, I care about them so much, and I want us, if we're going to have a war, let's have a war against real enemies. Let's not have a war against our own children. Let's not have a war against our own leaders of the church. Let's have a war against those that know what's right, but yet they want to ravish the church of the living God anyway. Let me say that again. Let's have a war against those who know what's right, but they want to ravish the church of the living God anyway. And I just wrote some notes here. You know, getting back to that whole thing about discernment, it's like mathematics. You have to put certain numbers on one line and put these numbers on this line if they're to be added or subtracted. Okay. And when things come over a certain limit, then you have to regroup. You have to bring those numbers down. Okay. And there's an order you have to bring those numbers down in, or it won't be correct. Okay. If we did not have a system of mathematics that makes numbers fair, we could just put numbers on a paper and deceive people every day, all day, anytime, any place. Give me a pencil and a piece of paper. Zibba, 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 zibba. You owe me. Okay. What? Okay. You know, I remember going in the store one time, and this man was teaching his kid how to, this man had his kid working for him. The kid this was going to be his first job. There's still tears coming out of my eyes. This was going to be this kid's first job, working for his dad. What a beautiful thing. What more could you want? Working for your own dad, your first job. You're making money off your own dad. What more could you want, right? This kid was in there giving everybody twice as much. He was charging them twice as much as his dad was charging everybody. Okay? And the funny thing about it, it was so funny because it was coupon night. Like everybody had coupons, and it was the coupons that was confusing the kid. So, you know, the guy wasn't getting much business. Okay. But he come out of the back room and his son standing there at the register. People that already paid kept going back up to the register. He's thinking, who's all these people in the store? You know. And he found out that they were all standing around because they got ripped off. Like, even me, I could have walked away and said, well, my bill came to $12 and something. When the coupon, when actually everything up there is like $9 and something. And with the coupon, it's supposed to take it down, you know, common sense, right? I'm paying $12 and something. You know what? Instead of being here all day, and I was getting ready to just like let the kid cheat me because because he had that look on his face like I was just a suspect if I was going to stand there. And I didn't want to argue with this kid. You know what I mean? I was going to let him, what's an extra $5, or so. Going to walk out. But then Dad came out of the room. And I was just about to walk out of there. And Dad walked out of the room. And he said, what's going on? And the kid was like, he knew. And the good thing is he knew his son. So he checked my order. When I walked out of there, the man charged me probably $8, and he apologized to me. For, he was very nice to his son about it, if it had been my son, who knows? Black folks, man, it's different, like you embarrass me in front of everybody like this, it's going to be different. But this guy was very, very, very polite with his son. He kind of just like had a son go do something else while he fixed everybody's order. This kid almost got away with ripping this kid almost got away with ripping all these people off. And they all were like, hold up, there's something not right here. I got a coupon, why am I paying more? Duh. And the kid felt really bad. I mean, he just really, really felt bad. But the thing is, we gotta have discernment. And if you think that there is no discernment in the church, you're an idiot. Because if there was no discernment in the church, there wouldn't be no denominations. The whole point of these denominations is the fact that the Protestant church left some things out. And so the Pentecostals and the Baptists and different ones try to put them back in there. And then, there's some denominations that have been derived from the Baptists and the Presbyterians, because the Baptist church at one time, Southern, not independent, what's the other one? Southern something. But anyway, the Southern Baptists are the most strictest Baptists you ever want to come in contact with. And then there's been independent Baptists that have derived from them as well as other denominations. And then people have left the Pentecostal church because why? The Pentecostal church is all about, trying to claim that there's power that isn't biblically sound. Not all the time, because I'm Pentecostal. Not all the time, but in a lot of cases. I remember my pastor in my church. We had some Pentecostal leaders come from the top of the organization, come down and visit our church. And my pastor had to tell the congregation that, well, this is a Pentecostal church. So this guy comes in there and he's speaking in tongues through half the sermon. And all these people, some of them who speak in tongues, okay, and know how to interpret tongues, or have the gift, I should say, to interpret tongues, they're like, what did he say? Did he say a clear word in English? And this is very, very biblical. Very, very biblical. And they were very uncomfortable, and they wondered where our pastor was taking us. But that young man was never invited back, but my point is, we have the gift of discernment. And I apologize if that means anything to anybody for some of the things that have happened on our watch as Christians within the Christian family or the Christian community on my watch. Let me say that again. I apologize if anybody thinks that would mean anything. For those, it's not my fault, but for those that have embarrassed the Christian church, with falsehood, I apologize. But I do not believe that you can shut us down. Well, you can shut us down, and you already are, but I do not believe that we should be shut down. I don't believe that it's feasible. I don't believe that it makes sense. I don't believe that it is fair. And I don't believe that, like I said on Facebook just last night. Was it last night? Night before. Night before. Like I said on Facebook, on a live video, is that whatever we feel about all the different movements that are non-Christian, think about that for a minute. All the different movements as a Christian, whatever we feel about the movements and the religions and the cultures and the lifestyles around us that are non-Christian, that are in our understanding, and in our culture, these things are ungodly, these things are evil. Whatever we think about these things, why don't we have a right to have those thoughts about those things? You're going to tell me that you're going to try to punish me until I get it in my thick skull that it's okay to be this way or to be that way or to do this. I don't think that's fair. Okay? There was a woman at my job that was speaking to me, and I try to ignore her because she's so argumentative, and half the time she don't know what she's talking about. And to keep things from getting heated, or to taking our attention off of what we're not paid. We don't get paid to argue religion and politics, but so I try to avoid this woman, for the sake of my job. But I have no problem, on a street corner screaming down your throat and letting you scream down mine, and just screaming down at each other downtown Pittsburgh on the corner of Wood and Liberty or something until somebody gets mad and knocks me out. I have no problem doing that. But I respect the rights of secularism. I respect the rights of the common people. I respect the rights of those who are entrepreneurs and big business, small business, and need jobs done. Jobs given, which is a blessing. Jobs need to be done. Okay? And the job is not politics and religion. So please, ma'am, if you think you can beat me in an argument, if you think you can debate with me without giving yourself a heart attack, by all means, pick a day and a time and a place. But don't do it here, okay? But it's really just a way to pass the time away because you don't care about what you're doing, you don't care about the job. Man, that looks delicious. But, we have to focus. And that's the thing about our lifestyles is where's the focus at? Is the focus on if a person is, let's say if a person is transgender, how much of your everyday life is focused on your transgenderism? When you go to work every day, are you always waiting for somebody to say the wrong word or look at you the wrong way or snicker or what are you you know what I'm saying? Are you able to really do your job without making it about you and the raw human feces that you decided to eat, or the raw animal feces you decided to eat, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you able to be nasty, okay, and you know what I'm saying? Are you able to really cover it up and make it look professional and keep it to business while you live that lifestyle? I can. But a lot of those that would debate with me can't. A lot of those that would debate with me can't. They can't do it. You know, I know a gay dude who got one friend, obviously a woman, with all these, and I said this on Facebook the other day, with all these people out here that voted Democrat, who's saying I'm a victim and I'm fighting for the victims. That's why I'm a Democrat. Okay. How come this gay dude amongst all these Democrats, and I mean Pittsburgh is a Democratic city. Very, very Democratic. My job is Democratic. Thank you, Democrats, for giving me such thank you, Democrats, for picking me and giving me such a wonderful job. You need to understand, though, that the reason why I am such a good worker is because, number one, I am a Republican, and number two, I am a Christian. This is why I do such a good job. This is why I haven't thrown in a towel yet. This is the reason why you haven't fired me yet, because my Christian beliefs mixed with my Republican beliefs has made me dedicated to this war, has made me dedicated to this chaos, okay? And I'm not a quitter. And I'm for my enemy as well as for my family. I'm for my enemy just as much as I am for those that are with me. Okay? But here you got this little gay dude running around. He got one friend amongst all these Democrats. He got one friend. And I'm not going to go into what I said on Facebook, but the point is, when you live a certain lifestyle, and that goes for Christians too, it goes for Christians too. When you live a certain lifestyle, you don't just live that lifestyle. This is where maybe Joe Biden is off his rocker. Okay? He don't understand. Like, when you live a certain lifestyle outside of work, per se, you don't just live that lifestyle and there's no politics and no spiritual, religious issues that go along with that. That's total nonsense. There is. Everybody is religious. Everybody puts whatever, Jesus said that whatever you give yourself to, you are a slave to that thing. If you give yourself to righteousness, you are a slave to righteousness. If you give yourself to unrighteousness, you are a slave to unrighteousness. If you are a slave to God, then you are a slave to God and you will do the will of your Father. If you are a slave to Satan, you are a slave to Satan and you will do the will of your father, Satan. Whatever you give yourself to, you are a slave and you will do its will. And everything has a will that has nothing to do with helping people. Even the Christian community, all these people that we're helping, our understanding is that over half that population of people that we help every day are going to hell. Even though we love them and we help them and we encourage them, and they say, "Shut up, don't preach to me," and so we don't preach to them anymore. But it's the same thing on the flip. All these people that you help every day. If you're not a Christian, if you're gay and these people ain't gay, and you know that they don't bow to your religious gay feelings or whatever, okay? These people are your enemy without even knowing that they're your enemy. This little gay dude slamming people's food around, okay, and getting nasty with people that he don't know nothing about, all because he walks around with this complex about himself. Okay, let me finish here. Christians seek the good of all things, not religion. Christians seek the good of all things, not religion. If Christians are to be banned from dictating publicly, that should include any group that insults the freedoms of others. If Christians are to be banned from dictating publicly, that should include any group that insults the freedoms of others. That should include the KKK, which even Donald Trump did not go in office and dismantle them. Neither did Donald Trump. Neither did Obama. Okay, I'm sorry, neither did Obama. Okay. That includes any religion. That includes why does the LGBTQ community get to march? Now they're marching three times a year now they're marching. But Christians don't march at all anymore. Not in a democratic city like Pittsburgh. Christians don't march at all anymore. I remember the last time I wanted to do I wanted to get my church and a bunch of churches in the area, and this was over in New Kensington where I recently lived there for 30 years, got married and raised my children before moving back here to Pittsburgh for 30 years. I was over there or more. Now, this has left the city and it's moving into the suburbs. Christians cannot perform in the parks anymore over there. Last time I tried to get a guitar festival together. Okay? When just the following year, not even a full year ago before that, there was a hard rock band in the park. Right there. A heavy metal band in the park, probably a mile from my doorstep. And they were the typical hard rock, heavy metal band with all the lyrics. They did songs from, The Living Dead, or, Jerry Garcia, AC/DC. They did old songs, and then they did some of their own stuff. And they were very, very loud. And when I got on the phone with this lady, I told her, she says, what do you mean a guitar festival? I says, I am a minister at the Allegheny Valley Church of God. I would like to get local churches together. And they said if I get this together, they'll endorse it and they'll join me. We want to use your park to do a guitar festival in it. She said, so you Christians are going to do a guitar festival? I said, yes, ma'am. She says, Christians and a guitar festival. She says, we don't want no trouble. I said, ma'am, what do you mean you don't want any trouble? Well, we don't want y'all down there disturbing the peace. I says, ma'am, the music isn't going to be that loud. She says, well, whether the music's loud or not, that's not the issue. I says, man, we're Christian. We're going to be, this is all Christian music, and there's going to be something there for everybody. And we're not going to be out there arguing with people about the gospel or anything. We're just going to be there getting together, celebrating Christian music, years of Christian music. She said, well, I don't know. Call this number. Call that number. We don't want no trouble. Called another person. They said, oh, we don't do that no more. But in closing out this video, my point is, I wasn't able to do the festival. We don't march anymore. And don't get me wrong. Me personally, I don't think that blocking the doors of an abortion clinic wins people to anything. It'll get a Christian arrested more than, or get you beat to a pulp, you know what I'm saying, more than anything else. But I believe with all fairness that if the gays can march, if the atheists are on the street, okay, talking about, what's that word that they use? I done forgot that word that they use. It'll come back to me in another video. I forgot that word that they use. Talking about critical thinking. That's not the word that I was thinking about, but they're going out there talking about critical thinking. I'll use that term. They want you to rethink. Now, you're telling me that after all these years and all these different denominations, and it's not even so much religion in itself, it's basically just Christianity. You want everybody to rethink Christianity, even those that ain't Christians. You want them to rethink Christianity. Why? Only because we're older than you? Only because we're better than you? Only because when we open up our mouths, when we share scripture, we make you feel guilty of your sin? of your, your preferences. I gotta go. Maybe there'll be a part two. God bless you, D. Cruz, your life applications officer, signing off. Thank you for watching. More to come. God bless you.